So we have to find your groove to get you in the mood to write. So this is important when you're getting to that creative part where you really, you're just going to be doing speed writing and you're going to be allowing that creativity to flow. So you've got to kind of get yourself in the zone. You can't be busy doing something, you can't be, answering the phone and then expecting yourself to write. It takes a little bit to kind of get into that creative mode. Well, it does for most people. So how do you do that? Well, it depends on different people. For me, there's times when I really feel like writing, I feel like being creative, and other times when I don't. Just like there's times when I feel like being neat and tidy, or I feel like cooking, or I feel like doing something, and times when I just don't. And I don't work very well if I'm kind of told, well, you've got to write right now, or you've got to do something right now. I work better if I can just kind of take advantage when I get in that mood. But for you, it may be different. So some people, they've done some tests that say that people can't concentrate for more than 25 minutes at a time. So basically what they did is they tested with like blank screens, people staring at the screen, and people could watch a dot on a screen for about 25 minutes, after which they had to take a break because they just kind of lost concentration. I don't know if that really applies, because when you're writing, you're doing something that you enjoy and you're creative. So it's not the same as staring at a screen. But some people do feel like they've got to take a break every 25 minutes, or a scheduled break like that. So it could just be you write for 25 minutes and then you have a cup of tea, would be my case, but take a little break for a few minutes. I tend to, like, once I'm in that zone, once I'm there, take advantage and just go for it and do as much as I can. I can get in that zone and go, for hours and, or even days, lock myself away and do that. And then at other times I don't feel like it. I don't feel like doing it for days or weeks. So I have to kind of catch myself when I'm in the mood, but it might be different. Distractions though. Turn off your phone and allot yourself time. You can't kind of do it in between things. For me, you've got to kind of block out at least a few hours of time. I can't do it where I've only got a half an hour here, a half an hour there. For me, I've got to block out a serious bit of time and know that I'm not distracted, and not have my phone on and not be checking things, because you got to kind of get in that creative flow. And if you get a phone call, that's a different mindset, and once you get taken out of that, it's too hard to get back in. So to me, you've got to kind of block out big chunks of time if you can, and then get yourself in the mood, and then just really go for it. Some people work better with deadlines, and I have put this into a 30-day structure, or a 30 lesson structure. You could do it once a day, you could do it every day at 9 a.m, you could do every evening, you could do it every Monday through Friday and have the weekends off. You could do 3 sessions on a Saturday, 3 sessions on a Sunday, nothing during the week. So I've built it into 30 sections. Personally, I work better when I can do a whole section and then finish that and then do another section if I feel like it. But some of you might find it better if you're given a deadline. Of course, if you had a publisher, you would have a deadline of so many weeks to get your first draft, so many weeks to go to the next step. So you can actually, if you really like structure, tell yourself, I'm going to do it every morning at 10 a.m. and I'm going to do it for 30 days straight. And these are the calendar days, and make yourself, do it on a schedule if that works for you. Create your space. So before you start, a lot of people find it easier if they've kind of got that creative space going. So it could just be, your a corner of your room. It could be, a bedroom. It could be a living room. It could be a certain couch. It could be that you've got a place, you've got your cup of coffee, you got your snacks, you got your cozy blanket, you know. So you want to set up your space and create that writing space so that when you go, you feel comfortable, right? So it's all about kind of setting that creative mindset, that creative space. Some people like to do meditation beforehand. I mean, I think meditation is great, and especially if your subject is more kind of a spiritual nature. And meditation, I mean, some people will, think meditation is this kind of out of body state, which if you're doing some kind of spiritual automatic writing, you kind of are. But meditation can also just be kind of like quietening yourself, quietening your mind. But when you get into that creative writing, it is almost automatic. It is like something kind of takes over you, just like as if you were painting. You get in the zone and you start writing, and it just starts to kind of flow. So you've got to find that thing that does that for you. So meditation can be really good, and if not full on meditation, at least center yourself. Take a deep breath. Make sure you've got all your other stuff out of the way. The to-do stuff, whether it's checking emails, finishing phone calls. Don't have a lot of things hanging. You want to kind of have your space of, okay, now I'm ready. I'm going to center myself and get in my kind of creative zone. Now, writer's block. Writer's block is where you just can't, you're not motivated to write, or you're thinking, I just don't know what I'm going to write about. You just kind of feel stuck. And part of writer's block is what I was just talking about, that you haven't kind of got yourself set up, taken your space, got yourself ready. But even then, sometimes you're like, I just got writer's block. I don't know how I'm going to say this, what I'm going to do. And you just get stuck. Okay. So the secret for writer's block is you start writing. You start writing as fast as you can, or typing. Of course, if you're doing it on the computer, most people will be typing. But if you're doing it by hand, just literally start writing. And yeah, it might be complete garbage, but you can edit it later. The thing is, you have to get into that creative mode. So at first, if you're sitting there saying, I don't know what to write, I've got writer's block, I don't know what I'm doing, you have to kind of get yourself into that creative mode. So just start writing about whatever the subject is you're writing about. Start writing your chapter, and just understand that, yeah, you may be throwing away or completely re-editing the first few paragraphs, but it will kick in. So as you start being creative and writing, and speed writing, do not stop, do not check, do not edit, do not look at, do not catch any spelling mistakes, do not at all take your mind off that creative writing. So do not allow yourself to go back and look at anything or say, that's a spelling mistake, I need to correct that. No, you go as fast as you can, and you speed write. And that is the best way to cure writer's block. And then afterwards, your creative juices will kick in and it'll take over. And yeah, you might have to throw away a few paragraphs of what you did, or you might have to completely re-edit it, or you might find out that it's actually quite good. You'll be surprised. So we'll talk about, talked about like finding your groove, like making sure you're kind of in the mood, working with your own style, whatever that is, taking breaks if that works for you. Works for some people, doesn't work for other people. Avoiding distractions, turning off your phones, making sure that you don't have things to worry about, that you've taken care of everything. Some people also work well if they create kind of something like a routine, almost like a ceremony before they start writing. So some people will say, like, yeah, I take kids to school, then I do the shopping, and then it's my time to write. Some people say, well, I make myself a smoothie, and I do this, and then it's my time to write. So create a habit. And they say that a habit takes 30 days. And so create a writing habit that you're going to do writing after you've done these things. And it could be, I'm placing crystals. I'm literally doing like a little ceremony. Or it could be, I've got household things to do and take care of. But it's always after I do this. It's always after I do that. Or I take the dog for a walk, I make my coffee, and then I do my writing. So you need to find out what it is for you. So creating a habit, creating a nice space, even if it's just a chair or just a, you know, corner of a room, but having your writing space kind of makes you feel like it is always like your space. Sometimes you can move around. Like I wrote a lot of my books on airplanes when I could zone out even if people were around me, but I still felt like I was in my own little bubble. But at home I would have my own writing space. So find your own space that to you means, okay, I'm ready. Writer's block, you're going to just speed. And then the only thing I can think of is make sure that you are using your talking voice. Make sure that when you're writing, it's your style, your personality. If you're trying to be somebody that you're not, if you are trying to write it like you're a very knowledgeable person, and I don't know, you're trying to kind of put it an air and it's not really your personality, you're gonna have a harder time being able to keep up with that, and that's gonna kind of trip you up. So so find your space, find your groove, find what it is that motivates you to write, and then work around your structure and your system.